So an example of monetization would be a subscription model. Is that what NBC would be looking at?
Well, it's any number of things. One of the kind of fundamentals, I guess, of economics is the demand curve, and at any point on the curve, people are willing to pay a different price depending on their interest level in acquiring that product. And so our job is to provide all these options to people. So, for example, you can, if you really are prepared to pay for a show by sitting through 15 minutes of commercials in an hour without being able to fast forward it, you can access that show the night that we put it on the air. And you don't have to pay anything other than sitting through 15 minutes of commercials. If you don't want to do that, but you're willing to pay $1, but you don't want any commercials, you can access it the next day. If you're a subscriber for $10 a month, you can access it maybe a few days later. I mean, I'm making this up. This is not any model that's set in stone, but it's trying to provide different alternatives for people to watch things on their terms and on their economic terms. And I don't know, we're in a phase of experimentation right now, and there's no answer to it. Hulu, right now is a model where you go and on demand, you watch a show. It has a limited amount of commercial inventory in it. You watch it within a certain period of time after it's on the air. And I know the folks over at Hulu are thinking about, whether they should expand their offerings into different ways as well. Subscription, added commercial inventory, windowing it different times. So it's all very fluid right now.
So Mark, I have to ask you, in the newspaper, there's been several articles about the eventual Comcast acquisition of NBC. Can you explain the strategy behind that?
Well, I can't really talk about it. First of all, it's not a done deal by any stretch. We're all in a kind of wait and see mode. And anything I would say would be speculating about why Comcast would want to acquire NBC Universal, other than the general feeling that I think everybody has who's watched the deal discussions as, Comcast is a distribution business right now where they are providing pipes into people's homes, and they want to make sure that they have something to put in those pipes. So acquiring a content company is a good way to ensure that you'll always have something to put in their pipes. That said, there's any number of reasons that this will happen, or it won't happen. Looks like it will happen, but we're kind of all in a wait and see mode right now. So, and that's all I really know about it. It's not like I'm hiding any great state secrets here. It's just.
Sounds good. So what do you see as the biggest challenge for NBC in 2010 and for the industry as a whole?
Well, for NBC in particular, it's turning our ratings around. We need to get some more shows that generate interest with an audience and advertisers. Interestingly, the recession took a big hit in television advertising the last year and a half or so, especially in the local television ad market. So local car dealers and retail stores and have had a particularly hard time, and they're the ones that advertise on your local television stations. So the local TV stations are taking a big hit, but networks have as well. That marketplace is starting to turn around. And we're seeing now in the fourth quarter of 2009 a big upsurge in advertising spend on the broadcast networks and on the cable networks, which is a good thing because economists say that it's a leading indicator of how our economy is going to be doing. So maybe is somewhat of an indicator about maybe heading out of the recession a little bit. So the advertising market's starting to come back. NBC is particularly challenged in creating enough ratings so that we can sell it to advertisers. And we're having a little bit of success. This year, our show Biggest Loser, The Office, 30 Rock, are bright spots in our schedule. We have a couple of new shows that are starting to gain some traction with Parks and Recreation, Community, Mercy. Even Trauma is starting to show some signs of life. And patience is a virtue here for us. So for us, it's kind of staying the course with our programming, finding some new shows that will resonate, And then, the larger strategic issue for NBC in 2010 is to make sure that we are figuring out a way to produce high-quality programming at a right price so that it's not too expensive to produce it, and that we are able to monetize it in all the various revenue streams that we put it out there so that we can provide it to consumers in the ways they want to consume content and in a way that we can make a business out of it. And that's a big challenge. But that's a challenge for our whole business.
I have one more question, Mark. For all the Chapman students looking to one day work in the entertainment industry, what advice would you give them that would distinguish them from other people vying for the same jobs?
Be related to something else. You knew I was going to say that. No, we talked about this before. I think that the hallmark of anybody that I know that is successful in any business, forget about the entertainment business, is passion. It's really having the desire to do something that no barrier will stop you. Because there's plenty of people who kind of want to do it, and I kind of want to do it, and yeah, there's always the outlier that it comes easy to, and you look at that person and go, how did that person get so successful so quick without ever trying? But for the most part, the people that are successful in their businesses are the ones that wouldn't take no for an answer and just kept pushing. And ultimately you'll prevail. It's timing, it's luck, it's opportunity, it's preparation, it's hard work. But if you really are passionate about what it is you want to do, and you stick with it, and you don't let up, it'll happen.
Good answer. Appreciate it. We'll open it up to question and answer.